It's an animal of incredible size and beauty, the humpback whale. Every year, these amazing creatures grace the shallow waters around Australia. The name humpback describes the motion it makes as it arches its back out of the water in preparation for a dive. It's found in all oceans around the world, from the South Pole to the North Pole. Humpback whales grow to around 16 metres in length and weigh up to 45 tonnes. The females are slightly larger than the males. Its 4-chambered heart weighs as much as 3 average adult human beings combined. Humpbacks live in groups called pods. There are distinctive patches of white on the underside of the flukes. These markings are unique to each individual whale, much the same as a fingerprint. Humpback whales are seasonal feeders and carnivores that filter feed krill and plankton. An average-sized humpback whale will eat up to 2,500 kilograms of plankton, krill and small schooling fish every day during the feeding season. Humpbacks cooperate in hunting, and they've developed a method of rounding up highly concentrated masses of prey that is called bubble netting. The hunting members of a pod form a circle under the water. Then the humpbacks blow a wall of bubbles as they swim towards the surface in a spiral path, rounding up masses of their target and trapping them as they surface. The humpbacks then eat a large, hearty meal. Humpback whales can dive for up to 30 minutes at a time and can dive to depths of more than 200 metres. They're very acrobatic, often breaching high out of the water, then slapping the water as they come right back down again. Sometimes they twirl around while breaching. Breaching may be purely for play, or may be used to loosen skin parasites, or may have some social meaning. Another humpback activity is spy hopping. Here, the whales poke their heads out of the water for up to 30 seconds to take a look around. Humpbacks also stick their tails out of the water into the air, swing it around and then slap it on the water's surface. Humpback whales breathe air at the surface of the water through 2 blowholes located near the top of the head. Humpback whales are the noisiest and most imaginative whales when it comes to songs. They sing songs that are long, varied, complex, eerie and beautiful. Songs include recognisable sequences of squeaks, grunts and other sounds. Only males have been recorded singing. It's during the winter breeding months we hear the male make the long, beautiful, complicated vocalisations that make the humpback so famous. These songs are thought to have some role in mating rituals. Humpback whales live at the surface of the ocean, both in the open ocean and shallow coastline waters. They migrate from warm tropical waters where they breed and calve to Arctic waters where they eat. Here in Hervey Bay, off the east coast of Queensland, tourists flock to see these underwater giants. During the summer in the warm waters, adults do not eat, but live off their layer of blubber. The young calves will feed on their mother's rich milk. In this remarkable scene, we watch as a mother basks near the surface in Hervey Bay, while its newborn calf floats just above her. 2 sub-adult males can be seen swimming around both of them. Humpbacks migrate up to 5,000 kilometres during each seasonal migration, with almost no rest along the way. During migrations, they can cover up to 1,500 kilometres every month. Humpback whale breeding occurs mostly in the winter to early spring, while near the surface and in warm tropical waters. The mother and calf may stay together for a year or longer. Then it will be on its own. It'll go on to live around 45 to 50 years. At Eden, on the New South Wales south coast, the humpbacks begin their annual migration to the Antarctic, feeding on schools of krill during the southern summer. Compared to other whale species, the humpbacks are fat and relatively slow swimmers, which has made them ideal targets for hunters. In terms of behaviour, they're one of the most active whales. They're also remarkably curious and will surface close to travellers. It's a case of who's checking out who in these encounters. It's this bay, Twofold Bay out of Eden, that's seen so much action with the humpback whales. 2 centuries ago, their population was estimated to be around 25,000. Several whaling stations were located on these shores, and the whale almost became extinct because of savage hunting that took place here. Numbers have now come back to an estimated 8,000. Memories of that savage hunting are evoked in the Eden Museum. On prominent display is the 80-year-old skeleton of an orca, Old Tom, who's said to have led a pod of killer whales to help round up the humpbacks for the local fishermen. Humpbacks are an endangered species due to how easily hunted they were. Whalers had easy access to humpbacks because of the humpbacks' lack of fear of boats, as well as their tendency to get close to the shore on polar feeding grounds. These days, researchers and travellers take to the waters off Eden in a far more friendly pursuit. The humpbacks are in abundance here in October, which is why a team of researchers has come here to study their markings and behaviours. Eden is a critically important area and a developing area in terms of whale migration because it's an area where they can feed. And it's the only area in the world where they feed consistently on their migration. The researchers today are gathering data on the whale's biology, migratory trends, numbers and distribution patterns. It's all to get an estimate of the population that is surviving today and to help protect the species from whaling in the future. The time the researchers have to identify and record these humpbacks is short. The whales will pass through Eden in a matter of days, completing their migration cycle by swimming for another 2 months back to their Antarctic feeding grounds.
5 flukes of the mom, 1 lateral fluke of the calf.
Right around the world, humpback whales migrate long distances to feed and breed, sometimes up to 5,000 kilometres. In all, 10 separate populations of humpbacks have been recorded, all taking the same migration path every year. While some mixing between populations may occur, there's probably never been any interaction between the whales of the northern and southern hemispheres.